It's about bin collections in Bristol. They could be cut to once a month, every 4 weeks, under new plans being considered by the Green-led City Council there. They say that the change would encourage recycling and it would save more than £2 million a year.
Yeah, and they would be the first council in England to do so. So it's already happened in Scotland and in Wales. Black rubbish bins are already only emptied once a fortnight across Bristol. That happens in many cities across the country. Not all residents think the council's plans for monthly collections are practical. Here to discuss if a black bin collection every 4 weeks is a rubbish idea or not is Donnachadh McCarthy, an environmentalist who says it's brilliant. It's going to free up money to be spent elsewhere. It's good for the environment. It's easy to do. TV's Queen of Clean, Lynsey Crombie. Guess what Lynsey thinks? It's outrageous. And you struggle with a fortnightly collection.
I do.
Right, how many people in your house?
So we're a family of 5 and we find that we really need a bigger bin. We recycle, we're sensible, I've got the kids involved. It's just overflowing. Come to that 2-week period, my husband's jumping in, squashing rubbish down, going to the recycling centre. It's just too much. And going monthly would be awful, wouldn't it?
Well, how much worse would it be if it was every 4 weeks?
Well, we'd have to be taking that. We'd have to go to recycling centre with all that rubbish and start from the beginning. It would just be too much. I mean, we live somewhere where it's quite windy as well, so the lid's coming up, the rubbish is flying out. You use the clear plastic bags at the side of the bin. It would just be awful. It's just not feasible.
Donnachadh, you are in favour of this. How often is your rubbish put out?
I haven't had a black bin since 1994. I produce half... Since
Do you eat it all?
I mean... I produce around a shopping bag of rubbish every 3 months.
OK, who lives in your house?
I'm a one-person household,
OK.
So I don't actually have a wheel. The lady next door allows me to put my little bag every 3 months into her bin. Because actually what we need to be doing is reducing the amount of waste we're producing. So, for example, we throw away 80 million shaving foam cans a year.
Yeah.
This does nice lemongrass soap, Lynsey, few seconds, sorted. We throw away 240 million plastic toothbrushes a year, when all we need to be doing is throwing away the head and keeping the handle. So all we need to be doing is reducing the waste. Now, there's a big financial issue here. We spend £13 billion a year, the government does, on throwing away our waste. Now, that money could be used for looking after social welfare, for kids with special needs, for pensioners. Every household, Lynsey's household, it costs £480 a year to deal with our waste. Now, that's between 18% and 43% of our waste. So what we need to be doing, and the real problem with the Daily Mail is they're saying they're reducing the bin collections to once a month. They're not. They're going to have weekly collection for food and a weekly collection for recycling. And then all the bits that are left...
It's the rubbish bins.
There's almost nothing left.
But what about if you're in a household where you've got small children and there's nappies that need disposing of? These go in the black bin. If you've got 3 children under 5 that aren't potty trained, where do these go?
If you look up the story, they're going to collect the food every week and they're going to collect the nappies every week.
But you describe them...
So you'd need another bin then for nappies? Another bin on your driveway. There's more clutter, that's more mess.
Just before you give us more examples of how brilliant you are at not creating any rubbish, and we all bow to that, let's just say to you that in Fife, which is the borough in Scotland where they've tried this out, it didn't really work properly. They had monthly collections, and after a while they just found they had to have general rubbish collections every 2 weeks. It wasn't working. And in Crombie, in Wales, they found that fly tipping has gone up by 16%.
And fly tipping's already bad. No, there's already rubbish on the sides.
So we're not all like you.
No, but why would fly tipping come up? Fly tipping is usually commercial people dumping waste. It's not
it doesn't really matter why.
No,
people
would dump any waste. People would just get even more lazy with this system. They would literally be using public bins.
So you go out your drive.
I wouldn't.
Your wheelie bin. You go down the road and you empty that. Well, nobody's
But I think people will stop recycling. They're going to think there's a space in my green bin, so I might as well put the waste that should go in the black bin in the green bin and hide it and just make the situation worse. So when it gets to the recycling centre, the job is then doubled because people are going to rebel against this system.
But what they've found when they moved to fortnightly is that the amount of people using recycling is about 50% of the waste in our black bins is recyclable. Recycling creates 70 times more jobs. 70 times more jobs than burning it, which is what happens to most of our waste now.
What do you think about Lynsey's point that the more that you... Look, it's fantastic. All the positive stuff you're doing is fantastic. Yeah. I would suggest it's not realistic. But what Lynsey says is that the more recycling there is, And if you don't have a regular enough collection, she ends up driving to the recycling centre. That's not good for the environment.
Yeah, that's an impact on the
environment. The recycling, that doesn't make any sense. The recycling is collected every week.
OK, yes.
It's collected every week.
But
if people rebel and start using their recycling bin and just putting anything in it just because they've got nowhere else to put it, that's when you're going to get the problem. People are lazy. It's a habit that needs to be built, and habits take a long time to build. We need more education, different size bins for different households.
There are millions of people in Britain who love recycling, and they love reducing
Yeah, we do.
And so, for example, this is a microfiber cloth. Lynsey throws away. Well, Lynsey, they throw away plastic.
No, I use microfiber cloth.
Cleaning products. This is a microfiber cloth. It cleans your windows, your sinks, your bathroom without using any plastic containers, because it actually just uses water. What we mean is
you don't use any cleaning fluids.
You don't need any cleaning fluids with this.
No, that's not going to deep clean a house.
It's antibacterial.
How long does it last for?
150 uses.
Years?
No, 150 uses.
What about flies? We've had a lot of messages about... No, seriously. I know this is an important point. Elizabeth on email has contacted us to say the life cycle of a housefly's egg to a maggot is 9 days. Many councils get away with a fortnightly collection, but a month would lead to loads more houseflies. Now, I can attest to that.
Yeah.
On a hot day, after a week, and we get weekly collections, one of our bins is usually full of maggots.
Yeah, so this has no relation to reality, because what the council...
I'm just describing reality to you.
The reality is right. If you've got food waste in the bin for a month, it'd be disgusting. But that's not what they're proposing. Why is the Daily Mail implying to people that the food waste is not going to be collected every week?
The Daily Mail aren't in the studio.
Is going to be collected every week.
But a black bin is a closed space. It's very moist.
No flies, Richard, because there's a lid on the food waste.
But the lid will be up because it'll be full, so the lid's going to be up unless you're going to stand in it and squash it down. We shouldn't have to do that. It's like going back to Victorian times.
How many times?
It seems to me, listening to all your arguments make sense within themselves, but they don't seem to accept the reality of life out there. For example, when I told you that Crombie Council have accepted, that fly tipping has gone up by 16%, you said, why? Why has fly tipping gone up by 16%?
Because commercial people
One second. The point is, it has.
Yeah,
and you asking why doesn't really address the problem. It has gone up by 16%.
Yeah, but what I'm asking is, fly tipping around my house that I get where we've got our local community gardens, it's not by householders going. It's actually guys coming in white vans and dumping their commercial waste on open space.
So
that's
why
what
has fly tipping gone up by 16% in Conway?
I don't know what's going on in Conway, but...
Well, because it's a direct result of the fact that rubbish isn't collected.
I don't understand why somebody would go out and dump their black bin on the...
No one understands why anyone does that, but
I just think years ago we had a weekly collection. I think we should be going back to the weekly collection to keep our streets clean and tidy. As long as people are recycling, what's the problem?
Well, you know what
you're going to need more dust carts on the roads.
I just want the bins back on the streets. We've got rid of all the actual bins on our streets where I live. So I say more bins, more collections. But Donnachadh has this remarkable cleaning cloth that needs no fluid.
And he hasn't used a black bin since when?
1994.
I'd like to take that cleaning cloth to a dirty house.
He does live alone. Look, Bristol City Council said that no decision has actually been made yet, but they say if we are to hit the national goal of recycling at least 65% of waste by 2035, then we do need to change something. And at the moment, all the options, this is Bristol Council, they're saying all the options are on the table, which has been scrubbed clean with a microwave.
Yeah, I'm so sorry, but 95% of our viewers do not agree with you. However, you have persuaded 5% of them, so that's good.
Small steps.